The silence in the office was a lie. Jessica knew it. Behind every cubicle, behind every professional smile from the digital marketing team at Summit Digital Group, there were secrets. But none like hers. None that could destroy her career with a single word spoken in the wrong hallway. It was 8:15 in the morning when everything changed. Jessica stood at her desk on the 12th floor of the corporate building in San Francisco's financial district, her hands ice cold and her phone buzzing in her pocket. She didn't need to look at it. She knew who it was. It was always her. Emma. The woman who had made her believe in something bigger than spreadsheets and engagement metrics that dominated her daily life. But that morning, Jessica couldn't answer. Because that morning, something was terribly wrong. The glass door to her office opened without warning, without the polite knock everyone gave before entering. And when Jessica looked up, the world stopped in a way that no corporate training could have prepared her for. It was her, Emma. Not on a screen, not in a blurry photo sent at midnight with a shy message. Emma, flesh and blood, in an elegant black dress that fit perfectly on her slender figure, heels clicking against the synthetic marble floor, and those green eyes that Jessica had memorized in hundreds of secret video calls. Emma, who was supposed to be 3 BART stations away, waiting for her at a cafe in Hayes Valley for their first face-to-face meeting. Emma, who was now here, in her office, with a folder in her hands and a professional expression that didn't match at all with the last photo she'd sent last night. Lying in her bed, hair down and a mischievous smile, asking if she'd be ready to meet her for real. "Good morning," Emma said, and her voice was exactly as Jessica remembered it, but colder, more controlled. "I'm here on behalf of Ms. Roberts." Jessica felt the air escape from her lungs. Ms. Victoria Roberts, her direct supervisor, the woman who had built the digital marketing department from scratch, who demanded perfection in every campaign, who reviewed every report with a magnifying glass and tolerated no mistakes or scandals. The woman who, according to all office rumors, had a daughter studying graphic design at UC Berkeley who showed up occasionally to help with special projects. No, it couldn't be. Emma took a step forward, her heels echoing in the dense silence that had settled between them. "Jessica Martinez?" Emma asked, as if she didn't know her, as if she hadn't spent the last 4 months sending her good mornings, good nights, and confessions that neither of them dared to say out loud. "Yes," Jessica responded, and her voice sounded strange, distant, as if it belonged to someone else. "That's me." Emma extended the folder. Jessica took it with trembling hands. "My mother needs you to review this data before the 10 o'clock meeting," Emma explained. "She said you're the only one she trusts for this analysis." Jessica opened the folder without really seeing what it contained. Numbers, charts, sales projections, all blurry, all insignificant compared to the fact that the woman she secretly loved, the woman she had planned to build something real with, was Victoria Roberts' daughter. "Understood?" Emma asked, and there was something in her tone, something Jessica recognized, an almost imperceptible tremor. "Yes," Jessica lied. "Of course." Emma nodded, turned around, walked toward the door, and just before leaving she stopped, turned her head slightly, without looking directly at Jessica, and whispered so low it almost got lost in the hum of the air conditioning. "I didn't know either," Emma murmured. The door closed. Jessica collapsed into her chair, the folder sliding from her hands. Her phone buzzed again. A message. "Emma, we need to talk, but not here. Not now. Subscribe now. YouTube prioritizes subscribers, and those who aren't subscribed miss out on future stories." 4 months earlier, Jessica had downloaded a dating app at the insistence of her best friend, Sarah. "You need to get out of your comfort zone," Sarah had told her while sharing street tacos from a food truck near the office. "You've been at that company for 2 years. You lock yourself in your Soma apartment every night, and your only relationship is with Google Analytics statistics. Live a little." Jessica had rolled her eyes, But that night, alone in her studio apartment in Soma, with the sound of traffic filtering through the window, she created a profile. No face photo, just an image of the city taken from Twin Peaks. Simple description. Data analyst. I like dark coffee and honest conversations, not looking for drama. The first match was with a woman named Emma Roberts. Profile photo, a sunset at Ocean Beach. Description. Graphic designer. I believe in second chances and people who tell the truth. Emma's first message was simple. What kind of coffee? And Jessica responded, Americano, no sugar, like life. Emma wrote, interesting. I prefer cappuccino. A little sweetness doesn't hurt. That conversation extended until 3 a.m. They talked about everything. About French films neither had seen but both wanted to see. About family pressure. About the fear of not being enough. About the feeling of living someone else's life. In one message, Emma wrote, do you ever feel like you're acting all the time? Jessica responded, all the time. At the office, with my family, even with myself sometimes. Emma asked, and now? Are you acting? Jessica stared at the question for several minutes. Finally, she wrote, no, not with you. Emma's response was immediate. Me neither. The conversations became daily, then constant. Good morning messages, photos of their breakfasts, complaints about Bay Area traffic, and later, when trust grew, deeper confessions. Emma told her about her mother, a successful and demanding woman who expected perfection. Jessica shared about her father, a traditional man from Arizona, who never understood why his daughter preferred to stay in San Francisco, wasting time with computers. But they never exchanged full last names, never mentioned exactly where they worked. It was a tacit agreement. Keep some mystery, some magic, until they were ready to meet for real. And now, 4 months later, the mystery had become a nightmare. Jessica spent the rest of the morning on autopilot. She reviewed the data in the folder without really processing it, responded to emails with generic answers, avoided the common area where she normally grabbed coffee at 11. At 12:30, her phone buzzed. Emma. Café Reverie, Valencia Street, Mission, 2 p.m. Please. Jessica looked at the message for 5 full minutes before responding. Jessica. I'll be there. Café Reverie was a small place, hidden between a vintage bookstore and a vinyl shop. Jessica arrived first. She ordered an Americano she didn't touch. She sat at a table in the back, near the window overlooking a tree-lined street where cherry blossoms were beginning to bloom, filling the sidewalks with pink flowers. Emma walked in exactly at 2. She was no longer wearing the black dress. Now she wore jeans, a simple white blouse, and sneakers. Without the corporate armor, she looked younger, more vulnerable. She sat across from Jessica without ordering anything. I didn't know, were her first words. Jessica, I swear I had no idea. That I worked at Summit Digital? Jessica asked, keeping her voice low. Emma ran her hands through her hair before responding. That you worked for my mother, Emma said. You never mentioned the company name. Neither did I. My mother asked me a week ago to help her with a rebranding project. She said she needed design support, that it would be temporary. I'm at Berkeley. I'm in my last semester. I thought it would be a good opportunity for my portfolio and... God, Jessica, when I saw your name on the contact list this morning, I almost threw up. Jessica gripped her hands around the cold cup. Does your mother know? Jessica asked. About us? There's nothing to know, Emma responded, and the phrase fell like a stone between them. We've never officially met. We've never... Her voice broke slightly. Technically, there's no us. Technically? Jessica repeated. Emma looked up. Her eyes were wet. What are we supposed to do, Jessica? Emma asked. Tell my mother I've been talking to one of her employees for months, that we were planning to meet, that... She swallowed. That I'm falling in love with you, The cafe seemed to run out of air. "Don't say that," Jessica whispered. "Why not?" Emma questioned. "It's true. Because it makes everything harder," Jessica explained. Emma leaned forward. "It's already hard," she said. "From the moment I saw you in that office, I knew we were screwed. But I can't pretend these 4 months didn't exist. I can't erase every conversation, every laugh, every—" "Emma, your mother is my boss," Jessica interrupted. "If she finds out anything, I won't just lose my job. I'll destroy my career. In this industry, scandals travel fast. No one will hire the analyst who had a romance with her supervisor's daughter. And what about what I lose?" Emma's voice rose slightly. "My mother already thinks I'm not serious enough about my career. If she finds out about this, she'll confirm every doubt she has about me. She'll say I'm a distraction, that I have no professionalism, that—" She stopped, took a deep breath. "Sorry," Emma said. "I don't want to fight with you." Jessica extended her hand over the table, stopping just before touching Emma's fingers. "I don't want to fight either," Jessica responded. "But we need to be realistic. This, whatever we have, can't continue." "Are you saying we should end something that hasn't even officially started?" Emma asked. "I'm saying we need to protect ourselves," Jessica clarified. "Both of us." Emma closed her eyes. When she opened them, there was a new determination in them. "What if we were careful?" Emma proposed. "What?" Jessica wasn't sure she'd heard correctly. "At the office, we're professionals," Emma explained. "No personal contact, no looks, nothing that could give us away. But outside—" She left the sentence hanging. "Emma, give me a chance." Emma's voice was almost a plea. "I'm not asking you to risk everything right now. I'm just asking you not to close the door completely. We can be discreet. We can—" "Live a lie?" Jessica interrupted. "Protect something real?" Emma countered. Jessica felt something break inside her. Because Emma was right. What they had built in 4 months was real. More real than any superficial relationship she'd had before. "If we do this," Jessica said slowly, "we need rules. Nothing at the office. No messages during work hours. Nothing that can be traced." "Agreed," Emma accepted immediately. "And if at any point this becomes too risky, we end it," Jessica continued. "No drama, no guilt." Emma nodded, though the pain was visible in her expression. "Agreed," she repeated. They remained in silence for several minutes. Outside, the city continued its frenetic pace. Buses passed lifting the pink flowers. People walked hurriedly toward their destinations. The world kept turning, indifferent to the silent chaos unfolding in that small cafe. "How are we going to do this?" Jessica finally asked. "One step at a time," Emma responded, "just like we've been doing." "This is different," Jessica pointed out. "Now we know each other. Now I can see you, hear you." She stopped, feeling the heat rise to her cheeks. Emma smiled slightly, the first genuine smile since they'd sat down. "Am I like you imagined?" Emma asked. "You're exactly as I imagined," Jessica admitted. "And that scares me." "Why?" Emma wanted to know. "Because it makes it harder to walk away," Jessica confessed. Emma fully extended her hand now, barely touching Jessica's fingers. It was a brief contact, almost imperceptible, but it sent an electric current through Jessica's entire body. "Then don't walk away," Emma whispered. "Not yet." The following days were a masterclass in acting. Jessica arrived at the office at 8 o'clock sharp, as always. She checked her emails, prepared reports, attended meetings where Victoria Roberts dissected each campaign with surgical precision. And when Emma appeared, because now she appeared regularly, working in the design area on the same floor, Jessica kept her gaze fixed on her screen, her professional expression impeccable. But at night, when Jessica closed the door of her Soma apartment and collapsed onto the secondhand couch she'd bought, her phone would buzz. "Emma, you wore that gray sweater today that looks perfect on you." "Jessica, you shouldn't notice those things." "Emma, too late." The first week was the hardest. Jessica found herself searching for Emma with her gaze every time she entered the conference room. She noticed how Emma bit her lower lip when she was concentrated on her laptop, how she played with the silver ring she always wore on her index finger, how her eyes lit up when Victoria approved one of her designs. In the nightly video calls, because they'd returned to video calls, encrypted and private, Emma confessed the same happened to her. "I almost gave us away today," Emma said one night, lying in her bed with her hair down. "We were in the strategy meeting, and you said something brilliant about the Instagram algorithm. I wanted to shout to everyone that you were my girl, that you've been teaching me about data analysis for months, while I teach you about color theory." "I'm not your girl," Jessica responded, but her voice lacked conviction. "Not yet?" Emma asked with a smile. "Emma, when can I see you?" Emma interrupted. "Really, I mean, not at the office, not on a screen." Jessica wanted to say it was too dangerous, that each meeting was a calculated risk that could explode in their faces, but the words that came out were different. "Friday," Jessica said, "after work. There's an exhibit at SF MoMA. No one from the office ever goes there." Emma's smile lit up the screen. "It's a date," Emma declared. "It's a clandestine meeting," Jessica corrected. "Call it whatever you want," Emma said. "I'll be there." Friday arrived wrapped in typical San Francisco fog that made the city smell like salt water and eucalyptus. Jessica left the office at 6, took BART to Montgomery Station, and walked to the museum. It was at half capacity, perfect for going unnoticed. Emma arrived 10 minutes later, with a black umbrella and a denim jacket, without the corporate uniform, without the professional mask. She looked exactly like in the photos she sent. Authentic, vulnerable, beautiful. They walked through the exhibition halls without talking much at first. They contemplated abstract works neither really understood. They stopped in front of an installation of fragmented mirrors that reflected their distorted images, multiplied to infinity. "That's how I feel sometimes," Emma said quietly. "Like I'm living in multiple versions of myself. The obedient daughter, the dedicated student, the emerging designer, and now, the woman who secretly meets with her mother's data analyst." "Which one is real?" Jessica asked. Emma turned to her. "Maybe all of them," she responded. "Or maybe none." She paused. "Who are you when no one's watching?" Jessica thought about the question, about the versions of herself she had built over the years. The daughter who left Phoenix to escape family expectations. The professional who had earned Victoria Roberts' respect through impeccable work. The woman who had spent 2 years hiding behind superficial relationships because it was safer than risking feeling something real. "I'm trying to figure it out," Jessica finally admitted. They left the museum when it closed. The fog had lifted, leaving the streets glistening under the city lights. They walked toward Market Street without a defined destination, maintaining a prudent distance between them, aware that San Francisco was simultaneously huge and small, that there were always eyes, always someone who knew someone. "I'm hungry," Emma said. "Know any discreet place?" "There's a hole-in-the-wall spot in the Mission," Jessica offered. "Home cooking. No one from the office goes there." "Perfect," Emma accepted. Mama Rosa's was hidden on a side street off Valencia. It was small, with only 6 tables and walls decorated with black and white photographs of San Francisco from the 1950s. It smelled of freshly made enchiladas and warm tortillas. They ordered pozole and tostadas. When the food arrived, Emma closed her eyes with the first bite. "God, I missed food like this," Emma confessed. "At my mother's house, everything is gourmet and controlled, Perfect portions, organic ingredients, 0 carbs. Sounds horrible, Jessica commented. Emma took a sip of horchata before continuing. It's exhausting, she admitted. Everything in her life is perfection. She paused. Sometimes I wonder if she really cares about me, or if I'm just another project she needs to optimize. I'm sure she loves you in her own way, Jessica offered. What if her way isn't enough? Emma asked with sadness. Jessica had no answer for that. She knew Victoria Roberts only in her professional facet. Demanding, brilliant, intimidating. But now, looking at the pain in Emma's eyes, she wondered what kind of mother she was when she closed her office door. My father told me something before I moved to San Francisco, Jessica shared. He said, "You'll always love the people who don't see you completely." I think he was referring to himself, to how he could never understand who I really am. Do you regret moving? Emma asked. No, Jessica responded without hesitation. It was the best thing I could do. But it wasn't easy either. I had to build myself from scratch in a city that owed me nothing. And did you succeed? Emma wanted to know. I survived, Jessica said. I built a career. I found my space. She paused. But I always felt something was missing, like I was waiting. For the right moment? Emma suggested. The right person? Something like that, Jessica confirmed. Emma extended her hand under the table, finding Jessica's fingers. This time the contact wasn't brief. It was deliberate, warm, real. And now? Emma asked. Is something still missing? Jessica squeezed her hand, feeling the warmth against her skin. No, she whispered. Not anymore. They stayed like that, hands intertwined under the table, while Mama Rosa served them more horchata without asking questions. In that small corner of the city, surrounded by the murmur of other people's conversations and the smell of home cooking, they could just be 2 women having dinner together. But when they stepped outside, reality returned like a blast of cold air. I have to go, Emma said, though neither of them moved. My mother expects me home for dinner. Lately, she's been more vigilant. Does she suspect something? Jessica asked. I don't know, Emma admitted. But she asks strange questions about my social life, about whether I'm seeing anyone. Yesterday, she asked me directly if I had a boyfriend. What did you tell her? Jessica wanted to know. Emma let out a bitter laugh before responding. That I'm focused on my career, she answered. The irony wasn't lost on her. She said I'm too much like her. They walked toward the BART station, aware that this was the point where their paths separated. Emma lived in Pacific Heights with her mother. Jessica would return alone to Soma. At the station entrance, Emma stopped. I don't want this to end, Emma confessed. It doesn't have to end, Jessica responded. It just has to be careful. For how long? Emma asked. I don't know, Jessica admitted. Months? Years? Emma's voice broke slightly. The rest of our lives? Until it's safe, Jessica said. What if it's never safe? Emma questioned. Jessica had no answer for that, because the truth was she didn't know if there would ever be a safe moment to love Victoria Roberts' daughter. I'll find a way, she finally promised. I swear. Emma nodded, though her eyes were wet. Text me when you get home, Emma said. I'll be waiting, Jessica replied. They separated without touching, like 2 strangers who had casually coincided at the same subway station. Jessica watched Emma disappear into the crowd, with her denim jacket and black umbrella, and felt a physical pain in her chest. That night, lying in her bed, Jessica received a message. Emma. My mother asked what I did today. I told her I went to the museum alone. It's not technically a lie. Jessica. Did she believe you? Emma: I think so. But I hate lying to her. I hate lying. Period. Jessica: Me too. Emma: When can I see you again? Jessica looked at the ceiling of her room, listening to the distant sound of traffic. Jessica: Soon. I promise soon. But soon turned out to be more complicated than they expected. The following week, Victoria Roberts called a series of intensive meetings to launch a new campaign. Jessica worked until midnight for 5 consecutive days, analyzing data, preparing presentations, answering urgent emails. Emma was in the same meetings, sitting across the table, showing design mock-ups, explaining visual concepts. Their gazes crossed occasionally, brief, loaded, dangerous, but they never spoke directly. One afternoon, while Jessica was in the women's restroom touching up her makeup after a particularly exhausting meeting, Emma walked in. They froze, looking at each other through the mirror. "Hi," Emma whispered. "Hi," Jessica responded. "Are you okay?" Emma asked. "Tired," Jessica admitted, "but okay." Emma approached the sink next to Jessica's, pretending to wash her hands. "I miss you," she said so quietly Jessica almost didn't hear her. "Emma, we can't," Jessica began. "I know," Emma interrupted. "I just needed to say it." Before Jessica could respond, the door opened. Claudia from HR walked in talking on her phone. Jessica and Emma immediately separated, each pretending to be absorbed in her own task. When Claudia entered one of the stalls, Emma turned to Jessica one last time. "Monday," she whispered. "I can get away Monday. You?" Jessica nodded slightly. "Same place?" Emma asked in a nearly inaudible voice. "Same place," Jessica confirmed. That night, Jessica received an email from Victoria Roberts. Subject: Quarterly Performance Review. Her heart stopped for a second before opening it. The email was standard. Victoria scheduled quarterly reviews with all her direct reports. But there was one line that made Jessica freeze. "I would also like to discuss your interaction with new team members, specifically the support you've provided on the rebranding project. I've noticed your collaboration has been exceptional." What did exceptional mean? Was it a compliment? A veiled warning? Did Victoria suspect something? Jessica reread the email 5 times before responding with a simple, "Of course, Ms. Roberts. I'll be prepared for the review on Thursday." That night she couldn't sleep. She stayed awake staring at the ceiling, imagining increasingly worse scenarios. Victoria discovering everything. A confrontation at the office. Her career destroyed. Emma's name tarnished. At 3 a.m, her phone buzzed. "Emma, are you awake?" Jessica: "Yes." Emma: "Are you also thinking about everything that could go wrong?" Jessica: "Constantly." Emma: "Is it worth it? All this risk?" Jessica stared at the question for several minutes. Jessica: "Yes. Even though it scares me to admit it. Yes, it's worth it." Emma: "Then we keep going." Jessica: "We keep going." But as she typed those words, Jessica couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking toward the edge of a cliff, and that, sooner or later, one of them was going to slip. If this doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. Thursday arrived wrapped in gray fog that made the financial district buildings look like ghosts of concrete and glass. Jessica entered the office 30 minutes early. She had mentally rehearsed the conversation with Victoria all night. She had her reports organized, her metrics updated, every chart perfectly aligned in the presentation. But no preparation could calm the panic she felt in her stomach. At 9 o'clock sharp, Victoria's assistant sent her a message. "Ms. Roberts is waiting for you in her office." Jessica grabbed her laptop, adjusted her navy blue blouse, the one she always wore for important occasions, and walked down the hallway with measured steps. She could feel her coworkers' gazes. Everyone knew that a review with Victoria Roberts could end in promotion or termination. There were no middle grounds. Victoria's office was in the corner of the 12th floor, with windows overlooking the entire city. From there you could see the Bay Bridge in the distance, the traffic on the 101 like a metallic river that never stopped flowing. Victoria was standing in front of her desk, reviewing something on her iPad. At 52, she was a woman who commanded attention without effort. Perfectly cut short hair, dark gray suit, impeccable but discreet makeup. Every element of her appearance communicated absolute control. "Jessica, come in," Victoria said without looking up. "Close the door." Jessica obeyed, feeling her heart pounding against her ribs. "Sit down," Victoria ordered. She sat in the chair facing the desk, the same one where she'd sat 3 years ago when Victoria had interviewed her for the first time. Back then, Jessica was just another candidate, one among dozens competing for the digital analyst position. But something in her way of explaining search algorithms had impressed Victoria. "You understand that data tells stories," Victoria had said at the end of that interview. "Most people only see numbers. You see narratives. That's rare." Now, 3 years later, Jessica wondered if Victoria could read the story unfolding right in front of her, if she could see the hidden narratives in every professional interaction with Emma. "Your numbers are excellent," Victoria began, finally setting the iPad aside. "The ROI of the last campaign exceeded projections by 18%. Engagement increased 27%, and the sentiment analysis you did on social media was impressive." "Thank you, Ms. Roberts," Jessica responded. "But I didn't call you just to talk about numbers." Victoria leaned back in her chair, studying Jessica with those dark eyes that missed nothing. "I want to talk about your recent behavior." The air seemed to become dense. "My behavior?" Jessica asked, trying to keep her voice firm. "I've noticed certain changes," Victoria explained. "You arrive earlier. You stay later. Your work, which was already good, has reached a level of excellence I frankly didn't expect. It's as if you were proving something to me." Jessica maintained her composure, though she felt cold sweat on her back. "I'm just committed to my work, Ms. Roberts," she replied. "That's obvious." Victoria interlaced her fingers on the desk. "But I want to know what motivates you. Because in my experience, when someone changes this dramatically, there's a reason. Are you looking for a promotion, a transfer, or is there something else?" The question hung in the air, loaded with unspoken meanings. "I want to grow in the company," Jessica responded, choosing each word carefully. "You've taught me a lot. I want to demonstrate I've learned." Victoria nodded slowly. "I've also noticed you've been collaborating very closely with Emma," Victoria pointed out. Jessica's heart stopped. "It's part of the rebranding project," Jessica explained. "You assigned us to work together." "I know," Victoria said, "and the results have been exceptional. Emma's designs complement your analyses perfectly. You work well together." She made a deliberate pause. "Very well." Jessica didn't know what to say. Every word could be a trap. "Emma is talented," she finally said. "She has an eye for design that's uncommon." "I know. She's my daughter." Victoria's voice softened barely perceptibly. "And though I don't always agree with her career choices, I can't deny her talent. But tell me, Jessica, how do you find her as a person? Is she professional? Reliable?" The question was a trap disguised as maternal interest. "She's very professional," Jessica responded. "Delivers everything on time, listens to feedback, adapts quickly." "Nothing else?" Victoria pressed. "What else should I say?" Jessica asked cautiously. Victoria leaned forward. "Emma can be complicated," she admitted. "She has a habit of becoming emotionally involved in her projects, and sometimes in the people she works with. As her mother, it's my responsibility to ensure she maintains appropriate professional boundaries." Jessica felt the floor moving beneath her feet. "I haven't noticed anything inappropriate, Ms. Roberts," Jessica stated. Good. Victoria leaned back again. Because if something like that were to happen, if Emma developed some kind of inappropriate bond with someone in this office, I would expect that person to have the professionalism to report it, or at least to handle it appropriately. The silence that followed was deafening. Of course, Jessica managed to say. Excellent. Victoria took a folder from her desk. Now, let's talk about your future here. I'm considering creating a new position, Director of Digital Analytics. It would be a significant jump in responsibility and salary, and I think you're the ideal candidate. Jessica blinked, disoriented by the abrupt change of subject. Director? She repeated. With your own team, Victoria explained. You'd report directly to me. You'd handle all the company's data analysis projects. It would be a considerable promotion. I don't know what to say, Jessica admitted. Say yes. Victoria smiled slightly. But there are conditions. I'd need you to focus completely on work. No distractions. No personal complications that could compromise your professional judgment. Can you guarantee me that? The trap closed with surgical precision. Yes, Ms. Roberts, Jessica responded. I can guarantee that. Perfect. Then we'll start the transition process next month. Victoria extended her hand. Congratulations, Jessica. You've earned it. Jessica shook her hand, feeling the firmness of the grip, the weight of everything unsaid. Thank you, Ms. Roberts, she said.
One more thing, Victoria added just as Jessica was standing up. Emma finishes her project here in 2 weeks. She'll return full-time to university, so make good use of these last days of collaboration. After that, you probably won't work together again.
The words hit Jessica like a punch to the stomach. I understand, she managed to say. Good. You may go, Victoria concluded. Jessica left the office feeling like she'd just survived an execution. Her hands trembled slightly as she walked back to her desk. Her phone buzzed. A message from Emma. Emma, how did it go? Jessica looked at the message, then looked toward the design area where Emma worked. Their gazes met across the open space. Emma raised her eyebrows in silent question. Jessica shook her head slightly. Not here, she mouthed without sound. Jessica, I'll tell you later. We need to talk. The rest of the day dragged like thick honey. Jessica tried to concentrate on her work, but Victoria's words echoed in her mind. After that, you probably won't work together again. 2 weeks. They only had 2 more weeks before Emma disappeared from her daily work life. And though that should make it easier, less risk of being discovered, less constant stress, the idea produced a physical pain in her chest. At 6, when most of the team had already left, she received another message. Emma. Parking garage, level 3, 10 minutes. Jessica waited 15 minutes to avoid raising suspicions, then grabbed her things and headed to the elevator. The building's parking garage was a maze of concrete and flickering fluorescent lights. On level 3, which was almost always empty at that hour, she found Emma leaning against a pillar, arms crossed. What happened? Emma asked, as soon as Jessica approached. I saw you leave my mother's office and you looked like you were about to throw up. She knows something, Jessica said without preamble. Or she suspects. I'm not sure which is worse. What did she say exactly? Emma asked. Jessica told her the entire conversation, every loaded word, every significant pause. When she finished, Emma looked pale. Shit, Emma muttered. That sums up the situation well, Jessica agreed. She offered you a promotion? Emma asked. Yes. Director of Digital Analytics, Jessica confirmed. That's incredible, Jessica, Emma said. It's what you've wanted. At what price? Jessica ran her hands through her hair. She basically told me I can have the promotion if I keep my personal life spotless. No complications. No inappropriate bonds. Without me, Emma concluded. She didn't say that explicitly, Jessica clarified. She didn't have to. Emma let out a bitter laugh. My mother is an expert at communicating without saying. It's her corporate superpower. They fell silent, the hum of fluorescent lights filling the space between them. And then there's the other detail, Jessica continued. She told me you finish in 2 weeks, that you're going back to university. Yes, Emma confirmed. My project here was always temporary. I thought we'd have more time to what? Jessica's voice sounded harder than she intended. To fall more in love with you? To make it harder when everything explodes? It's not going to explode, Emma insisted. How can you be so sure? Jessica questioned. Because we're going to be careful. Emma took a step toward her. Because we're smart. Because what we have is worth protecting. Your mother studied me for 40 minutes, Emma, Jessica said. She asked me questions about you that were... She closed her eyes. It was like being under a microscope. And I don't know if I passed the test or if she just gave me enough rope to hang myself. Emma extended her hand, barely touching Jessica's arm. What do you want to do? She asked softly. I don't know, Jessica admitted. Taking the promotion would mean more responsibility, more visibility, more eyes on me. Every move would have to be perfect. And if you don't take it? Emma asked. Then Victoria will know something's wrong, Jessica explained. Because nobody turns down a promotion like this without a very good reason, and she'll start looking for what that reason is. We're trapped, Emma concluded. Completely, Jessica agreed. Emma moved closer until their faces were inches apart. In the dim light of the parking garage, her eyes looked almost golden. You know what's the worst part of all this? Emma whispered. What? Jessica asked. That every time I see you, every time I hear your voice, I fall a little more in love, Emma confessed. And I know I should walk away. I know it would be safer. But I can't. Jessica felt something break inside her. All the tension, all the fear, all the carefully constructed control crumbled in that instant. She leaned forward, closing the distance between them. The first kiss was soft, tentative, as if both were testing if this was real. Then Emma deepened the kiss, her hands finding Jessica's waist, pulling her closer. It was like breathing after being underwater for too long. When they finally separated, both were trembling. We can't do this here, Jessica said, though her hands remained clutched to Emma's jacket. I know, Emma responded. Someone could see us, Jessica warned. I know, Emma repeated. But I don't want to stop, Jessica confessed. Me neither, Emma admitted. They looked at each other, reality settling between them like an inevitable weight. What are we going to do? Emma asked. Be more careful, Jessica decided. Meet only outside of here, never at the office, never where someone can connect us. And when I leave? Emma asked. When I'm no longer working here? Then it'll be easier, Jessica said. Less risk. Or will it be the beginning of the end? Emma's voice broke. How many relationships survive when you don't see each other every day anymore? When you have to make an effort to find time, to make it work? The ones that are worth it, Jessica interrupted. Those survive. If any part of this story feels like your life, the hype button helps make sure it doesn't stay silent. The following 2 weeks were a masterclass in compartmentalization. At the office, Jessica and Emma were the picture of professionalism. They communicated only through formal emails. Their interactions in meetings were brief, focused, with no sign of familiarity beyond standard workplace courtesy. But at night, the city became their refuge. They met in places where no one from Summit Digital would set foot. Hidden taquerias in the Tenderloin, jazz bars in North Beach where the music was so loud no one could hear their conversations, small theaters in the Mission that screened French films for audiences of 3 people. One night, while walking the empty streets of Hayes Valley, after seeing a movie neither had really understood, Emma took Jessica's hand. It was a simple gesture, but in that moment, it felt more dangerous than any stolen kiss. "What if someone sees us?" Jessica whispered. "No one here knows us," Emma responded. "We're just 2 women walking." "Your mother lives nearby," Jessica reminded her. "My mother is at a business dinner until 11, Emma informed. "And even if she wasn't, she never goes for walks. She thinks exercise is a waste of time." They arrived at Alamo Square, where a street musician played guitar for a small group of tourists. The painted ladies glowed under the lights, the water in the fountain dancing in patterns that seemed deliberate but were completely random. They sat on a bench, maintaining a prudent distance between them, though their hands remained discreetly intertwined. "I want to show you something," Emma said, pulling out her phone. She showed her a series of designs. They weren't for work. They were personal illustrations. A woman with her back turned looking at a city from a window. 2 hands almost touching, with a tiny space between them. A fragmented heart being rebuilt with gold threads. "They're beautiful," Jessica commented. "When did you make them?" "The last 2 weeks," Emma explained. "When I can't sleep. When I think about everything that could go wrong." "And the gold threads?" Jessica asked. "It's a Japanese technique. Kintsugi," Emma explained. "When something breaks, they repair it with gold. The idea is that the object becomes more beautiful precisely because it was broken." She put away her phone. "Sometimes I feel like that, like something that broke and is trying to rebuild itself." "Why do you feel broken?" Jessica asked gently. Emma was silent for a long time, watching the fountain. "Because I've spent my whole life trying to be the daughter my mother needs," she finally confessed. "The perfect student, the talented designer, the young professional on the rise. And in the process, I forgot who I really am. Or maybe I never knew." "And now?" Jessica asked. "Now I'm with you," Emma responded. "And for the first time in years, I feel like I can be myself. I don't have to act. I don't have to be perfect. I can just be." Jessica squeezed her hand. "I feel the same," she said. "With you, I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to be the brilliant analyst or the rebellious daughter who left everything behind. I can just exist." "Is it enough?" Emma asked. "This? Secret meetings and stolen conversations?" "It has to be," Jessica responded. "For now." "And after?" Emma insisted. "After we'll find a way to make it work," Jessica promised. "In public, in broad daylight." "When?" Emma asked. "When it's safe," Jessica said. "I still don't know when that will be." The frustration was evident in Emma's voice. "My mother isn't going to retire soon. You just accepted a promotion that will tie you to the company for years. How long are we supposed to hide?" Jessica had no answer, because the truth was she didn't know if they could ever live their relationship openly. Not while Victoria Roberts had power over their lives. "One day at a time," she finally said. "It's all we can do." That night, Jessica arrived at her apartment near midnight. The building was silent, only the distant sound of some neighbor's television filtering through the thin walls. She entered her small space, a studio apartment she'd furnished with second-hand pieces and dreams of something better, and collapsed on the couch. Her phone vibrated. An email from Victoria Roberts. Subject: Urgent meeting, tomorrow 8 a.m. Panic immediately settled in her stomach. Urgent? At 8 in the morning? Victoria never sent late-night emails unless something was very wrong. She opened the email with trembling hands. Jessica, I need to see you first thing tomorrow. A situation has arisen that requires your immediate attention. Please confirm your attendance. No more details, no context. Just that vaguely threatening request that could mean anything. Jessica responded with a simple, confirmed, and spent the rest of the night awake, imagining every possible scenario. At 7:45 in the morning, she entered the office. The floor was empty except for the cleaning staff. She walked toward Victoria's office, where the light was already on. She knocked on the door. "Come in," Victoria said from inside. Victoria was standing by the window watching the city beginning to wake up. She didn't turn when Jessica entered. "Close the door," she ordered. Jessica obeyed, feeling fear turn into pure terror. "Do you know why I called you?" Victoria asked, still with her back turned. "No, Ms. Roberts," Jessica responded. "Last night I received an interesting call." Victoria finally turned. "From Claudia, from HR. She informed me that one of our employees filed a complaint." Jessica's heart stopped beating. "A complaint?" she managed to ask. "About inappropriate behavior in the office," Victoria explained. "Specifically about 2 female employees who were seen in a close interaction in the women's restroom 2 weeks ago." The world tilted dangerously. Claudia didn't know the names," Victoria interrupted. "The person who made the complaint was anonymous. But she described one of the women as the digital analyst who works on the 12th floor, and the other as a new designer." Victoria's eyes were like steel. "Do you know anything about this?" Jessica felt that every option in front of her was a trap. Admitting meant the end. Denying meant lying directly to her boss. Remaining silent was as revealing as confessing. "Ms. Roberts, Before you answer, I need you to understand something," Victoria interrupted. "This company has very clear policies about relationships between employees, especially when there's a power hierarchy. And although technically you and Emma don't have a direct supervisory relationship, she's my daughter, which means any bond between you would create a massive conflict of interest." Jessica couldn't breathe. "Do you understand what I'm saying?" Victoria asked. "Yes, Ms. Roberts," Jessica managed to respond. "Good, because I've worked very hard to build my reputation in this industry," Victoria continued. "And I won't allow anything or anyone to compromise it. Have I made myself clear?" "Completely," Jessica affirmed. Victoria walked to her desk, took a folder and extended it to Jessica. "This is the formal complaint," she explained. "As your supervisor, I have to investigate it, which means I need your version of the facts. Was there any inappropriate interaction with Emma Roberts in the women's restroom on the 16th of this month?" Jessica opened the folder with trembling hands. The report was vague but damaging. It described 2 women talking in whispers, standing very close, with obvious tension suggesting more than a work conversation. It wasn't enough to prove anything concrete, but it was enough to plant doubts, to start rumors, to destroy reputations. "Emma came to me in the restroom that day," Jessica said, choosing her words with extreme care. "She had questions about a project. We talked briefly. Nothing inappropriate." "Nothing?" Victoria pressed. "Nothing, Ms. Roberts," Jessica stated. Victoria studied her for a long time. Jessica maintained her neutral expression, though she felt like she was falling apart inside. "Very well," Victoria finally said. "That's your official statement. I'm going to close this complaint as unfounded. But Jessica, I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm going to say now." She leaned over the desk, her face inches from Jessica's. "I don't care what you do in your personal time," Victoria declared. "I don't care who you date, who you go out with, whatever. But the moment that interferes with my company, with my reputation, with my family, it becomes my problem. Understand?" "Yes," Jessica responded. "And when something becomes my problem, I solve it, Victoria warned. Whatever way is necessary. The message was crystal clear. If Victoria discovered anything, she wouldn't just fire Jessica. She would destroy her professionally, and probably destroy Emma in the process too. I understand perfectly, Ms. Roberts, Jessica said. Excellent. Then this conversation never happened, Victoria concluded. You may go. Jessica left the office feeling like she'd just survived an execution. Her legs barely held her as she walked back to her desk. Her phone vibrated. Emma. Emma. Are you okay? I saw you got here early. Jessica looked at the message, then looked toward the design area. Emma hadn't arrived yet. She didn't know about the meeting. She didn't know they were seconds away from everything falling apart. Jessica, we need to meet. Today. After work. It's urgent. Emma. What happened? Jessica. Not here. I'll tell you in person. Emma. You're scaring me. Jessica. You should be scared. We both should be. The rest of the day was hell of anxiety. Jessica couldn't concentrate on anything. Every time someone passed near her desk, she jumped. Every time her phone buzzed, her heart raced. At 6, when the office began to empty, she sent a message to Emma. Jessica. Golden Gate Park. 1 hour. Golden Gate Park was public enough to be safe, but large enough to get lost in the crowd. Jessica arrived first, found a bench under a eucalyptus tree, and waited. Emma appeared 15 minutes later, in jeans and a hoodie, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. She looked young, vulnerable, scared. She sat next to Jessica, maintaining an appropriate distance. What happened? Emma asked immediately. Jessica told her everything. The meeting with Victoria, the anonymous complaint, the barely veiled warning. When she finished, Emma was pale. Someone saw us, Emma murmured. It seems so, Jessica confirmed. Who? Emma asked. I don't know, Jessica admitted. Claudia was in the restroom that day, but she'd never make an anonymous complaint. She likes to confront directly. She rubbed her temples. It could be anyone. Someone who passed and saw something. Someone who suspects. Someone who just wants to cause trouble. What did my mother say exactly? Emma asked. That she'll close the complaint as unfounded, Jessica explained. But she also made it very clear that if she discovers anything, she'll solve it. And I don't think her idea of solving is just a conversation. Emma closed her eyes. This is my fault, she said. I was the one who came to you in the restroom. I was the one who insisted on meeting here, on finding each other. It's nobody's fault, Jessica interrupted. Or it's both our faults. It doesn't matter. The point is that now someone is watching, someone suspects, and we have to be even more careful. Or maybe we have to stop, Emma suggested. The words hung between them like a sentence. Is that what you want? Jessica asked. No, Emma responded immediately. But maybe it's what we need, for our own good. Don't ask me to do that, Jessica pleaded. I'm not asking you anything, Emma clarified. I'm saying that maybe the universe is sending us a signal. Maybe this isn't supposed to work. Or maybe the universe is testing us, Jessica countered, finally turning to Emma. Look, I know this is difficult. I know it's complicated and risky and probably stupid, but it's also real. And I'm not ready to give up something real just because it's difficult. What if we don't have a choice? Emma asked. There's always a choice, Jessica insisted. What choices? Emma questioned. Keep hiding forever? Live in constant fear that someone will discover us? Lie to my mother every day? If that's what we need to do to be together, then yes, Jessica affirmed. Emma looked at her with tear-filled eyes. I don't know if I can live like that, she confessed. Then what? Jessica asked. You give up? We give up? I don't know. Emma's voice broke. I don't know what to do. They sat in silence while the park filled with evening activity. Families walking dogs, couples holding hands without fear, people living their lives openly without having to hide. "I propose something," Jessica said after a long while. "You have 1 more week at the office. 1 week. After that, you leave. You won't be working for your mother anymore. The risk decreases considerably." "But I'll still be her daughter," Emma pointed out. "I know," Jessica acknowledged. "But we won't be at the same company anymore. There won't be that direct conflict of interest anymore. It'll be easier." "And in the meantime?" Emma asked. "In the meantime, we're ghosts," Jessica decided. "At the office, we don't exist to each other. Outside, we're careful. Very careful. No messages during the day. No meetings near work. Nothing that can be traced." "And after that week?" Emma insisted. "Then we see what happens," Jessica responded. "1 day at a time, like we said." Emma nodded slowly, wiping away tears. "1 more week," she accepted. "1 more week," Jessica repeated. They got up from the bench, aware they couldn't touch, couldn't hug, couldn't do anything that could reveal what they were to each other. "Can we see each other this weekend?" Emma asked. "Sunday," Jessica proposed. "Somewhere far away. What about Muir Woods? No one from the office goes there." "Perfect," Emma accepted. They separated, walking in opposite directions. Jessica turned once, watching Emma disappear into the park crowd, and felt a deep emptiness in her chest. 1 more week. They just had to survive 1 more week. But as she walked toward Bart, Jessica couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching them, that every step they took brought them closer to the precipice, and that when they finally fell, the impact would destroy them both. Monday dawned with a gray sky that promised rain, but never delivered. Jessica entered the office with her stomach in knots. 1 week. She just had to survive 1 more week with Emma working meters away, pretending nothing existed between them, acting as if every casual glance didn't burn her inside. Emma arrived at 8:30 in a white blouse and black pants, her hair pulled back in a professional bun. She passed Jessica's desk without looking at her, without a gesture. Without anything that could reveal they had spent Sunday together in Muir Woods, walking among giant redwoods, eating sandwiches from a local deli, laughing like 2 people who didn't have to hide from the world. But that had been Sunday. Today was Monday. And at the office, they were strangers. At 10, Victoria called a closing meeting for the rebranding project. The entire marketing team gathered in the main conference room, a large space with windows overlooking all of the financial district, with a long glass table and ergonomic chairs that cost more than Jessica's monthly salary. Emma presented the final designs: logos, color palettes, campaign mock-ups. Every element was impeccable, professional, brilliant. "Excellent work," Victoria said when Emma finished. "This is exactly what we needed. You've proven to be as talented as I expected." Emma nodded with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Thank you, Mom." "Ms. Roberts." She quickly corrected herself, but the slip didn't go unnoticed. Some in the room smiled uncomfortably. Others looked away. Victoria ignored the moment. "Jessica, your market analysis complements the design work perfectly," Victoria continued. "The 2 components together create a solid strategy. Well done." "Thank you, Ms. Roberts," Jessica responded. The meeting continued for 2 hours. They discussed budgets, timelines, implementation strategies. And the whole time, Jessica was painfully aware of Emma sitting across the table. How she bit her lip when she was concentrated. How she played with the silver ring on her index finger when she was nervous. Small details that no one else noticed. That only Jessica knew, because she'd spent months learning her. When the meeting ended, people began to leave. Jessica was packing her laptop when Victoria spoke. "Jessica, Emma, stay a moment," Victoria ordered. Jessica's stomach dropped. She froze, hands on her laptop, while the last team members left the room. The door closed. Victoria stood at the head of the table, studying them both with that calculating gaze Jessica had come to fear. "I want to thank you personally," Victoria began. "This project was a success because you worked exceptionally well together. The synergy between analysis and design was perfect." "Thank you, Ms. Roberts," they both said almost in unison. "However," Victoria made a deliberate pause, "I've noticed something interesting these last weeks." Jessica felt the air become dense. "You've been extremely professional," Victoria continued. "Maybe too much. In the first weeks of collaboration, there was a natural energy in your work together. Fluid conversations, shared ideas, but lately it's as if you're avoiding each other." Neither responded. "Did something happen between you?" Victoria asked. "Any conflict I should know about?" "No, Mom," Emma responded. "We're just being more conscious of professional boundaries." "Why?" Victoria inquired. "Because it's appropriate," Emma explained. Victoria looked at them for a long time. Jessica held her breath, counting the seconds in her head. 1, 2, 3, 4. "Okay," Victoria finally said. "I just wanted to make sure there were no problems. Emma, you finish this week. Jessica, you start your new position next Monday. I want this transition to be smooth for both of you." "It will be," Jessica promised. "Good. You may go," Victoria concluded. They left the room in silence. In the hallway, surrounded by co-workers typing in their cubicles, Emma whispered so low, Jessica almost didn't hear her. "She almost caught us," Emma murmured. "I know," Jessica responded in the same tone. "This is becoming unsustainable," Emma said. "Just 4 more days," Jessica reminded. "We can do it." But as she returned to her desk, Jessica wasn't sure she could do it. Every hour felt like an eternity. Every forced professional interaction with Emma was like swallowing glass. The next 3 days were silent torture. Tuesday, Emma and Jessica presented the final project to the executive team. Wednesday, they began transferring files and documentation so the next designer could continue the work. Thursday, Emma packed her personal things from the temporary desk she'd occupied for 2 months. And every night, when the corporate world slept, they wrote messages they would never send from their work emails. Emma: 3 more days and this ends. Jessica: this what? Working together or seeing each other hiding? Emma: working together. The other thing, I don't know when it will end, if it ends. Jessica: don't say that. Emma: what? The truth? Jessica, when I leave here, what will we be? Will we keep meeting in hidden cafes, lying about where we are? For how long? Jessica: as long as necessary. Emma: I don't know if I'm as strong as you. Jessica: you're stronger than you think. Emma: or more cowardly? Friday arrived wrapped in morning fog that made the city seem suspended in time. It was Emma's last day at Summit Digital. At 3 p.m, there would be a small farewell in the common area. Coffee, cake, the generic speeches people give when someone leaves the company. Jessica had offered to arrive early to help prepare, but really she just wanted a few more minutes in that space before Emma disappeared from her work life. The farewell was exactly as awkward as Jessica expected. The team gathered around a table with a tres leches cake from the corner bakery. Victoria gave a brief speech about Emma's talent and how she hoped she'd continue growing in her career. It's been a pleasure working with all of you, Emma said when it was her turn to speak. I learned a lot in these 2 months, especially about the importance of data analysis in modern design. Her eyes briefly rested on Jessica. 1 second, maybe 2. But it was enough for Jessica to feel the floor moving beneath her feet. After the cake, people returned to their desks. Emma packed the last things from her temporary space. At 5:30, when the office began to empty, she carried her box of belongings and walked toward the elevator. Jessica watched her leave from her desk. She wanted to get up. She wanted to run after her. She wanted to shout that this was stupid, that they shouldn't hide, that love was worth more than any corporate policy. But she stayed seated, watching the elevator doors close, watching Emma disappear. Her phone vibrated 5 minutes later. Emma. Parking garage. Level 3. Now. Jessica waited 10 minutes, enough to seem casual, and then grabbed her things and headed to the parking garage. Level 3 was almost empty, as always. Emma was leaning against her car, a white Honda Civic her mother had bought her for her birthday. Her eyes were red. "I didn't cry upstairs," Emma said when Jessica approached. "I promised myself I wouldn't cry. But as soon as I got here..." Jessica wanted to hug her. But the parking garage had cameras. There were always cameras. "We did it," Jessica said instead. "It's over." "Over?" Emma let out a humorless laugh. "This is just beginning. Now comes the hard part. Seeing each other when we can, hiding from my mother forever, living in 2 separate worlds." "But you don't work here anymore," Jessica pointed out. "The biggest risk is gone." "Do you really believe that?" Emma questioned. "My mother is still your boss. I'm still her daughter. Nothing really changed except now I won't see you every day." Her voice broke. "And God, I already miss you and you haven't even left yet." "I miss you too," Jessica confessed. "When can I see you?" Emma asked. "Really, without hiding in parking garages?" "This weekend," Jessica promised. "We can leave the city, go to Napa. Nobody knows us there." "And after?" Emma insisted. "One day at a time, Emma," Jessica responded. "Like we agreed." "I hate that plan," Emma admitted. "Me too," Jessica agreed. "But it's what we have." Emma nodded, wiping tears with the back of her hand. "My mother invited me to dinner tonight," Emma informed. "She said she wants to talk about my future. She'll probably give me a lecture about focusing on university and not getting distracted by..." She left the sentence unfinished. "By what?" Jessica asked. "I don't know," Emma responded. "Whatever she thinks is distracting me." "Does she suspect something?" Jessica asked with concern. "If she did, we'd know," Emma said. "My mother isn't subtle when she's upset." She opened her car door. "I have to go. If I'm late, it'll be worse. I'll text you later," Jessica promised. "Please," Emma pleaded. Emma got in the car, closed the door, and for a second, just a second, their gazes met through the glass. There was so much in that look. Fear, hope, love, pain. Then Emma started the engine and left. Jessica stood in the empty parking garage, listening to the echo of the tires driving away. It felt like a bigger goodbye than it should be, like an ending. That night, alone in her apartment, Jessica waited for Emma's message. 9 o'clock, 10, 11. At 11:30, her phone finally vibrated. "Emma. Sorry for taking so long. Dinner was complicated." "Jessica. What happened?" "Emma. My mother asked if I'm dating someone." Jessica's heart stopped. "Jessica. What did you tell her?" "Emma. That I'm not. That I'm focused on finishing university. But she didn't believe me. She said I've been different these last months. Happier, more distracted. She said she recognizes the signs because she was in love once too." "Jessica. And what else did she say?" "Emma. That she hopes when I'm ready to introduce someone, it's someone worthwhile, someone who treats me well, someone who understands our family." "Jessica. That sounds almost sweet." "Emma. It would have been if I didn't feel like every word was a test, like she was waiting for me to confess something. Jessica, do you think she knows? Emma, I don't know. And that's what's driving me crazy. Not knowing if she suspects, if she knows, if she's just being a worried mother. Jessica, what do you want to do? There was a long pause. Jessica could imagine Emma in her room in Pacific Heights, probably lying in her bed, looking at the ceiling, trying to find answers that didn't exist. Emma, I want to be with you without having to hide. I want my mother to know I'm happy. I want to stop lying. Jessica, I want that too. Emma, but we can't. Not yet. Jessica, not yet. Emma, when, Jessica? Give me a timeline. Tell me that in 6 months or a year we can do it. Give me something concrete. Jessica, I can't promise you that. I wish I could. Emma, then what can you promise me? Jessica looked at her phone for a long time, searching for the right words. Jessica, I promise I won't give up, that I'll find a way, that every day I'll work to build something we don't have to hide. I promise this is worth it. Emma, how can you be so sure? Jessica, because I've never felt this way about anyone, and I won't let fear take away something real. Emma, I love you. It's the first time I'm writing it, but I love you. Jessica felt something break and rebuild at the same time inside her chest. Jessica, I love you too, and we'll find a way. I promise. The weekend in Napa was a respite. They rented a small Airbnb on the outskirts of wine country, a place with a garden and a tiny pool nobody used. They spent 2 days existing without masks. They cooked together. They watched bad movies. They slept in each other's arms without alarms to wake them up to return to separate lives. On Sunday afternoon, as they packed to return, Emma stopped mid-folding a blouse. I don't want to go back, Emma confessed. Me neither, Jessica admitted. What if we don't go back? Emma proposed. What if we just stay here? You quit your job. I leave university. We start over somewhere nobody knows us. Jessica smiled sadly. You know we can't do that, she said. Why not? Emma asked. Because you've worked too hard to leave university 1 semester before graduating, Jessica explained. Because I just received the promotion I've wanted for years. Because running away doesn't solve anything. But staying doesn't either, Emma pointed out. Staying gives us the chance to build something real, Jessica argued. Not based on running, based on choosing. Emma nodded, though she didn't seem convinced. On Monday, Jessica started her new position as Director of Digital Analytics. She had her own office now, not as big as Victoria's, but with windows overlooking the city and a door she could close. She had a team of 3 analysts reporting to her. She had meetings with important clients. She had responsibilities that terrified and excited her in equal measure. And she had to pretend all this filled the void Emma had left. Weeks turned into months. September gave way to October. The weather began to change. San Francisco mornings becoming cooler, the sky taking on that deep blue that only existed in fall. Jessica and Emma saw each other when they could. Weekends in small towns outside the city. Late dinners at restaurants where nobody asked. Walks through parks where they could get lost in the crowd. But it was never enough. It was never real in the way they needed it to be. And Victoria remained a constant presence. She didn't mention Emma in conversations with Jessica, but she didn't need to. Her mere existence was a reminder of everything at stake. Until one November afternoon, everything changed. It was a gray Tuesday when Jessica received a message from Sarah, her best friend. Sarah, did you see the corporate news? Victoria Roberts just announced her retirement. Jessica almost dropped her phone. Jessica. What? Sarah. It's all over the business media. She's leaving Summit Digital after 15 years, effective in 3 months. They say she's going to focus on independent consulting. Jessica opened her laptop with trembling hands. And there it was. An official company statement. Victoria Roberts, Director of Marketing, announcing her retirement to focus on new personal and professional projects. Jessica's phone rang. It was Emma. Did you see it? Emma asked without preamble. I just found out, Jessica responded. Did you know? She told me last night, Emma explained. She said she's been thinking about it for months, that she wants more time for herself, that she's tired of corporate politics. She paused. Jessica, do you know what this means? It means in 3 months she won't be my boss anymore, Jessica said slowly. It means the biggest obstacle disappears, Emma added. It doesn't disappear, Jessica clarified. She's still your mother, but she won't have power over your career anymore, Emma argued. It won't be a corporate conflict of interest anymore. It'll just be my mother. A mother will eventually have to tell the truth. Jessica felt the world tilting on its axis. Are you saying that? She began. I'm saying that in 3 months, when my mother no longer works there, we could stop hiding, Emma proposed, at least in part. Emma, it's not that simple, Jessica warned. I know, Emma acknowledged. But it's a beginning. It's more than we've had until now. Jessica closed her eyes, trying to process everything. I need time to think, she said. We have 3 months to think, Emma responded. But Jessica, please, really think about it, because I can't keep living like this forever. That night, Jessica stayed awake until 4 a.m, staring at her bedroom ceiling. 3 months. In 3 months, Victoria would leave the company. The direct conflict of interest would disappear. But was it enough? Or was she just postponing the inevitable? The next 2 months were strange. Victoria began transitioning her responsibilities. Jessica, as the new director, absorbed some of the projects. They had regular meetings where Victoria passed on information, contacts, strategies. And in each of those meetings, Jessica wondered if Victoria knew. If she could see the truth written on Jessica's face every time someone casually mentioned Emma. One January afternoon, a week before Victoria officially left the company, she called Jessica to her office. Sit down, Victoria said, pointing to the chair in front of her desk, now almost empty of personal belongings. Jessica sat, feeling the familiar weight of anxiety. I want to talk to you about something personal, Victoria began. And I need you to be completely honest with me. Jessica's heart raced. Of course, Ms. Roberts, she responded. Emma has been different these last months, Victoria observed. Happier than I've seen her in years, but also more evasive. She goes out more but never says with who. She smiles at her phone, but hides the screen when I pass by. She leaned forward. As a mother, this worries me. As a woman who was once young, I understand it. But I need to know that whoever is in her life is treating her well. Jessica held her breath. Why are you telling me this? She asked cautiously. Because I trust your judgment, Victoria explained. You worked with Emma for 2 months. You knew her in a professional context. Did you notice if she was seeing someone? If she mentioned anything? It was the ultimate trap question. Jessica could lie directly, continue the charade, or she could take a step toward the truth. Ms. Roberts, Jessica began, choosing every word with extreme care. I think Emma is mature enough to handle her own personal life. And I think when she's ready, she'll tell you herself what you need to know. Victoria studied her for a long time. That wasn't really an answer, she pointed out. It was the only answer I can give you, Jessica said. Because you don't know, Or because you can't say? Victoria pressed. Jessica maintained eye contact. Because it's not my truth to tell, she responded. Something changed in Victoria's expression. It wasn't obvious, just a slight softening around the eyes. I understand, she finally said. Thank you for your honesty, even if it's cryptic. The following week was Victoria's last day at Summit Digital. There was a farewell party at the restaurant in the building across the street. Speeches, toasts, promises to stay in touch that probably no one would keep. Jessica attended because it was expected. And at some point in the evening, she found Victoria alone on the balcony, looking at the city that stretched in all directions. It's strange, Victoria said, without looking at Jessica. I spent 15 years building this, and now I'm just leaving. It's brave, Jessica commented, starting over. Or is it cowardly? Victoria questioned. Running away before the industry changes too much for me? I think it's wise, Jessica responded, knowing when it's time to let go. Victoria finally looked at her. And you? She asked. Do you know when it's time to let go? Or when it's time to hold on? I'm learning, Jessica admitted. Good, Victoria said. Because if there's one thing I learned in these 15 years, it's that corporate rules, policies, hierarchies, all of that is less important than real human connections. Don't let fear stop you from holding on to something real. Jessica felt a lump in her throat. Are you telling me something specific, Ms. Roberts? She asked. I'm telling you I'm no longer your boss, Victoria clarified, and that as a woman who lived too many years following rules that didn't always make sense, I hope you have more courage than I did. 2 weeks after Victoria left the company, Jessica invited Emma to her apartment. It was the first time Emma was coming. They had kept their meetings on neutral ground for safety, but something had changed. The biggest obstacle was gone. Emma arrived at 8 at night with a bottle of wine and obvious nervousness. It's small, Jessica said as Emma looked around the studio apartment. But it's mine. It's perfect, Emma responded. They had pasta that Jessica had tried to cook, and that was barely edible. They laughed at how bad it was. They drank the wine. They talked about everything and nothing. And when they finally ran out of words, Emma asked, What do we do now? What do you want to do? Jessica asked. I want to stop hiding, Emma declared. I want to introduce you to my mother as my partner, not as my former coworker. I want my friends to meet you. I want to live our life, Jessica completed. Exactly, Emma confirmed. Jessica took Emma's hand. I want that too, she said. But we need to be smart about how we do it. Your mother is no longer my boss, but we still work in the same industry. Gossip travels fast. We need to do this right. How? Emma asked. First, you tell your mother, Jessica proposed. Not all at once, but gradually. Test the waters. Measure her reaction. What if she reacts badly? Emma asked with concern. Then we face her together, Jessica responded. But I think... She paused. I think your mother suspects. And I think maybe it doesn't bother her as much as we fear. Why do you say that? Emma wanted to know. Jessica told her about the conversation on the balcony. Victoria's words about courage and real connections. Emma listened in silence, her eyes filling with tears. Do you think she knows? She asked. I think she's very intelligent, Jessica responded. And I think she loves you enough to want you to be happy. What if I'm wrong? Emma asked. What if I lose her? You won't lose her, Jessica assured. You might have to redefine your relationship, but you won't lose her. Emma nodded, wiping away tears. When? She asked. When do I tell her? When you're ready, Jessica responded. There's no rush. I'm scared, Emma confessed. Me too, Jessica admitted. but I'm more scared of living the rest of my life hiding something real." They stayed on the couch, embraced, while the city hummed outside. And for the first time in months, Jessica felt something like peace. 2 weeks later, Emma sent her a message. "Emma, I did it. I told my mother." Jessica's heart stopped. "Jessica, and?" "Emma." She cried. Then she got angry. Then she cried again. And finally she said she wants to meet you. "Really?" "Not as an analyst. As the person who makes her daughter happy." "Jessica, is she okay with this?" "Emma." She said it'll take time to process. That she has concerns about what people will say. That she fears for my future. But she also said that if you're who I chose, then she'll make the effort to understand. "Jessica, when does she want to see me?" "Emma, this weekend. Dinner at her house. Formal, terrifying, but necessary." The dinner was exactly as awkward as Jessica imagined. Victoria opened the door of her Pacific Heights house, a restored Victorian with an interior garden and fountain, with an expression that revealed nothing. "Jessica, thank you for coming," Victoria said. "Thank you for inviting me, Ms. Victoria," Jessica responded. They had dinner in the formal dining room, cioppino that Victoria had made herself, red wine, careful conversation that avoided the central topic during the first 2 courses. Finally, over dessert, Victoria spoke. "Emma told me everything," she said. "When you started, how you met, the months of hiding." "I'm sorry I lied to you," Jessica apologized. "I'm sorry for all the subterfuge, but I don't regret what I feel for Emma." "Do you love her?" Victoria asked directly. "Yes," Jessica responded without hesitation. "Are you going to hurt her?" Victoria inquired. "Not intentionally," Jessica promised. "But I'll probably make mistakes. And when that happens, I'll do everything possible to fix it." Victoria nodded slowly. "When Emma was 7, she asked me if she'd ever be like me," Victoria recalled. "And I told her I hoped she'd be better. That she'd take my successes and leave my mistakes. That she'd build a life that made her happy, not impressive." She looked at Emma. "I see how she looks at you. And it reminds me of how I looked at someone many years ago. Before I decided my career mattered more than my heart." "Mom," Emma began. "I don't regret my career," Victoria clarified. "It gave me a lot, but it also cost me a lot, and I don't want you to pay the same price." She turned to Jessica. "I'm not going to lie. I'm worried. I'm worried about what people will say. I'm worried about how this affects your career and my daughter's. But more than that, I want Emma to be happy. And if you make her happy, then I'll work on accepting it." It wasn't a complete blessing, but it was a beginning. The following months were of adjustments. Victoria invited Jessica to occasional lunches, asking questions about her career, her plans, her family. It wasn't easy, but it was progress. Jessica also talked to her own family. Her father in Arizona listened in silence when she told him about Emma. Then he said, "Is she a good person?" he asked. "The best I know," Jessica responded. "Then it's okay," her father accepted. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a grand declaration of unconditional love. But it was acceptance. And slowly, piece by piece, Jessica and Emma built a life they didn't have to hide. In March, they attended Emma's graduation exhibition at UC Berkeley together. Her designs occupied an entire wall, illustrations of San Francisco that captured its chaos and beauty simultaneously. In May, Jessica received an industry recognition for her work in digital analytics. Emma was in the audience, clapping louder than anyone. In June, they moved in together to an apartment in the Castro district. Bigger than Jessica's, smaller than ideal, but it was theirs. And one July night, as they lay in their new bed, looking at the ceiling and listening to the sounds of the city, Emma asked, Was it worth it? She asked. All the fear, all the hiding? Jessica turned to her. Every second, she responded. Even though it was hard? Emma insisted. Especially because it was hard, Jessica explained. Easy things don't build anything real. Emma smiled. I love you, she said. I love you too, Jessica responded. And while the city continued its endless rhythm outside, two women who had chosen courage over fear, truth over convenience, rested in the certainty that they had found something worth protecting, something real, something theirs. Subscribe now so you don't miss the stories that prove true love always finds its way. Jessica and Emma's story doesn't end here. Love never ends. It only transforms. They evolve together, facing new challenges, building new dreams. Because this isn't the end of their journey, it's just the beginning of everything they'll build together. If you want the continuation of this story, write it in the comments, because that's the only way I'll know what you want. And don't forget that YouTube only prioritizes subscribers, so subscribe now so you don't miss the next story that will make you believe in love and second chances. This is only the beginning.